Girlfriend Talk, Dreamsex, circa 1844. Alma Sandoval falls in love with a wrangler who works for her father. In order to escape an arranged marriage with an older man, she runs off with Bill Pollard to his home in Texas. Her mother-in-law, Bertha, doesn't approve of Bill marrying a New Mexican woman. She invites an old girlfriend of Bill's, Polly Tarver, to live on the Pollard Ranch. Her plan is to break up her son's marriage. This scene is one from Alma's relationship with Polly. Polly and I became fast friends, and the joke was on Bertha. It's true, we were different from each other, but we were also different from the other young women in town, and this drew us together. She had a body sense of humor and little modesty. She slept buck naked and was proud of it. We all learned to knock and wait a decent interval before barging in on her first thing in the morning. Unapologetic and straightforward, soon nothing she said surprised me. One day, we drove the buggy into town to pick up the mail. The road lay in an unbroken line straight to the horizon, corn on one side of the road and cotton on the other. A strange configuration, not the same as in New Mexico, where the plots were much smaller. A few dozen Negroes bent over the cotton, stuffing the fluffy buds into burlap bags. They didn't raise their heads when we passed. Polly broke the stillness with one of her outlandish questions. "When you're asleep, do you ever dream about making love?" "No, but I've dreamt I was naked at church. No one seemed to notice, and I wasn't trying to cover myself up either. Do you dream about it?" "Every night of my life, and in the daytime too. I always ask women, see if there's anyone else on earth like me. Well, if it will help, the closest I've come to dreaming about doing it is when I dream of Bill. But nothing really happens. I mean, in the dream, we aren't doing anything, but I get this powerful feeling we might." Polly listened intently, her lips parted, as if she were a doctor listening to me describe the symptoms of longing. "In the dream, he's looking at me, and I want him to touch me so bad, but he doesn't move. I feel it's about to happen, like I could make it happen. This wanting keeps growing till I can't stand it any longer. I'm almost there. It's almost about to happen. Then I wake up." Polly laughed. "Slow down, girl. Take a few deep breaths. Come to think of it, I will too." The dusty road stretched out ahead of us, and two crows hopped from corn hedge to cotton row, keeping time with us. "What do you do about it?" she asked, "when you wake up?" "Do? Well, I get up. I can't really go back to sleep." She laughed again. "So what do you do?" "Well, that's the difference between me and most women. I don't have to do anything because in my dreams I get touched everywhere I want." She tossed her hair back. "That's why I wake up so refreshed." She glanced at me. "But you can bet if my dream didn't get to that point while I sleep, I'd sure know what to do once I woke up." We both laughed, she knowing and me on the threshold of knowing, almost there. Just like that, the seed was planted. The sprout of permission broke ground and waved its happy green in the sunshine, because in my next dream I was back on the roadside with Bill. I raised my skirt as I'd done then, only this time I parted my knees, and he watched my hand slide down the inner slope of thigh to hide myself, one hand over the other. His eyes pleaded for more. I moved my hand so he could see, covered myself again, one hand replacing the other, a game of hide and seek, the pressure of my hands increasing the tempo of the game. I awoke to ecstasy, a pillow squeezed between my thighs. Exquisite spasms radiated from my groin and traveled outward and downward, causing my toes to curl, my foot to cramp, and me to jump up and stand on one foot, grinning like a ravished fool. I might have arrived at such rapture anyway. The Sandoval diary said it could happen. But it is to Polly Tarver I am most grateful, for it was she, and not my husband, who taught me to command my own pleasure.